You're watching Stepping the World, and behind me is the pyramid of Tepestaco, and it was built to honour one of the gods of fertility. And you've got 30 seconds to guess where we are.
Se necesita una poca de gracia y otra cosita y arriba y arriba, y arriba y arriba y arriba.
Oh, come on. How much time do you need? The hats? The music? Guatemala makes the southern border, and the good old US of A is to the north. That's it, Mexico. And we're right in the middle of the capital, Mexico City.
It's a combination of high altitude and over 3 million cars that make Mexico City one of the most polluted places in the world. In fact, to put it in perspective, to a non-smoker, the pollution is so bad that it's like smoking 2 packets of cigarettes a day. The city is so high that, in fact, some people actually suffer with altitude sickness. There are advantages, however. Things like mosquitoes simply can't survive this high. The city, though, is being overrun by a rather strange green and white beetle.
Recognise the shape? It's that air-cooled rear-engine masterpiece that's been on the roads for at least 7 decades. And in Mexico City, they're still as popular as ever. The people's car. The Volkswagen sales rep who came to this town must have been a genius. He should have been working for Rover. But this is one place you won't find cars, the very heart of the city, the Plaza de la Constitucione, or El Zocalo as it's called locally.
This is the largest plaza in the world, with each side measuring 720 feet. Another interesting little fact, it was paved in 1520 by using stones from the great temples and palaces of the Aztec Empire.
And while Cortés and his conquistadors were organising a bit of slab laying, the very first Spanish-style building was begun at the edge of the plaza. A cathedral with architecture based on the style of those in the old country. Later, it was replaced by the Metropolitana Cathedral, but there was an Aztec wall standing on the site even earlier. A sort of altar, and built into it were over 100,000 human skulls.
Just look at that. That has to be the biggest, hugest, tallest flagpole I've ever seen.
For the best view of El Zocalo, and its flagpole for that matter, you can't beat the 7th floor of the Hotel Majestic with its open-air terrace restaurant overlooking the plaza. Surprisingly enough, you can have your fortune told here too.
This is a Mexican tradition.
Yeah.
The bird picks up paper.
Yeah.
Say, tell your good fortune.
Oh, right. Excellent. Okay.
Would you like to know fortune?
Yes, please. Yeah.
What's your name, please?
My name's Richard.
Richard.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer, Estelita or Conchito?
I'll have Estelita.
Estelita, okay. A ver, Estelita, picks up paper for Richard. Thank you, Estelita. Estelita, say bye. Bye-bye, Estelita. Okay, the card is in English.
Right.
You can read it.
Right, lovely. Thank you. That's brilliant. What have we got here? Horoscope Planetario. Fortune. Your future will be brilliant. And it says here you will make some very successful trips. In love, I will reach the confidence of the person that I desire. Oh, that's all good stuff. My fortune days are Fridays, and my planet has some surprises reserved. Isn't that quaint? Oh.
Back in the early 14th century, Aztec Indian warriors saw an eagle clutching a snake in its bill land on a small island in Lake Texcoco. They took this as a very serious sign. It's still the emblem of Mexico today, and from those early beginnings the city grew. It's the largest metropolis in the world. 200 square kilometres in fact, and if you can live with the pollution, the height above sea level, and the immense sprawl of the place, I'm sure you'll love it. It's a colourful town. The people are friendly. There are more museums and history than you can shake a rain stick at, and I'm sure you'll never get bored. But like every great capital, you'll always find somewhere to relax. You need to get your head round distances when you're looking for special places in Mexico City. You can travel 30 kilometres from the city centre and still be in town, and that's hard to come to terms with if you're a country freak.
But if you do want to escape from the hustle and bustle, then you should try here, the Cancun area. It's absolutely idyllic. You could be anywhere in Spain. And I wouldn't blame you for thinking that either. It's just like Madrid, for instance. But it is beautiful. It's beautiful little Spanish idyllic houses, people selling balloons, and the old terrible barrel.
The monkey left because the organ grinder kept turning the handle the wrong way. I think he's playing the Mexican hat dance backwards. Anyway, whilst you're listening to the incidental music, I'm hungry. And there's a bloke over there with a saddlebag full of goodies. And my guess is it should all be hot stuff.
Nine pesos.
1 peso.
Oh, 1 peso.
Yeah.
So 1 peso. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I like this. It's good
Taste
taste.
it.
So it's some kind of taco. And do I put some of this in?
Yeah. But put little, otherwise you're gonna suffer a bit.
Is it mainly chilies? Is it? Chili. It's good. It's very good. It's very hot.
It's gone very quiet. I think they've arrested the organ grinder. By the way, 1 peso is just under 10 pence. Now for something for the mother-in-law.
What is this? What's inside? Yeah. Pizza. Oh, pieces.
I couldn't make a career selling tree trunks full of peas, but this chap does.
What do you use it for? What's it for?
For relax.
For relaxing.
So, if you want to relax, get a scaffold pole that rattles.
Ah.
Very nice sound. No, se escucha pesadito, ¿eh?
Trouble with this, I've got a real urge to open one end up and have a look inside. Big question is, do I get one for the mother-in-law?
No, it's too much like a rolling pin. Price-wise, the big ones are about £15. They're an awkward bit of hand luggage, though. But the alternative way to relax is to spend a day on the river just messing about in boats. Well, it's a canal really, and if you're a bit of a punter, this is the place for you. It might look pretty quiet at the moment, but don't be fooled.
This has to be the perfect afternoon out. This is Soconoko, or the floating gardens. Around 4 or 5 centuries ago, guys used to decorate these boats with flowers, and eventually they were all parked in lines, and then over the centuries they sort of became what we see around us, the actual landscape. And this huge lake then became divided into lots of little canals. And this is what it's like today. Chaos. It's just like the roads. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw VW floating past. You could buy anything as well. It's absolutely bizarre. You can be serenaded, you can have your picture taken, you can have lunch. And one of these costs around £10 for an hour. It's fantastic. Got to look after yourself, man. Cheers. It's absolutely bonkers here, man, by the way. Well, all I can say, I'm glad it's not raining, actually. Toffee apple, anybody? Toffee apple? Toffee apple?
These highly decorated, flat-bottomed punts moving up and down the waterway made Henley Regatta and Venice look like a Viking funeral. Floating restaurants, floating bandstands, and from what I could see, no rules of the road. You just point your pole and head in whatever direction you fancy. A couple of Mexican beers even made the trumpet player sound pretty good, but I think his brother's an organ grinder. At one point there were 4 bands all playing different tunes in different keys about 30 feet apart. It would never happen at Cows Week. These floating bandstands will pull alongside a tourist-filled punt and play a tune at the drop of a Mexican hat for about £2 a song. Pity about the trumpet player though.
In my wisdom last night, I decided that we'd go pyramid hunting, which is supposedly an easy thing to do. So we chose this town, Tepoztlán. It's about a 2-hour drive from Mexico City itself. The only dilemma that we have is what our tour guide in his wisdom didn't tell us, is that our pyramid is right up there. The show, at this point, becomes a big uphill struggle. 2 hours worth, in fact. I'll never trust a fortune-telling canary again. At this stage, I was thinking about boats, beer, and the silky tones of a certain trumpet player. There's got to be easier ways of earning a living. How much further is it? 5 minutes.
Richard. Right, now you see this?
Yeah.
This is what the last crew that were told by the producer. It was only a short walk. That's what happened.
You're saying that could be me? Well, I don't think there's much more.
Richard, not for you. It is going to be you.
It's an odd ending to this trip, that's for sure. And this is it. Right as high up as I can go, on top of the pyramid, overlooking the town of Tepesteco. And it's worth every minute of it. The view, what can I say? It's breathtaking, in more ways than one.
Next week, the hill villages of Mount Everest. But as good as the view was, there were some pretty interesting things going on behind me. What was this lady doing?
It's something I learned because I am a dancer. I perform, so that's something I do before I do my performance to connect to the different things. And here was very strong because you're very close to the sky and can get very good rooted here in the pyramid. So.
Do you think it's a place that you could find yourself?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the people who made the temple, they knew what it was about.
I'm not sure they did, actually. They were a bloodthirsty lot, those Aztecs. Can't even find my shoes, let alone myself.
Does it work?
You know, it's all very difficult, especially with a crew like mine. Comments like, "Great Biggles impersonation, Richard," didn't help, or the giggling.
Stop making me laugh, Langley. This is serious. This is serious. Okay? Just give me 10 seconds. How did you do that?
Oh, what's the point? It's about 66 kilometres from the airport to the centre of the city, so be prepared for an extended view of the suburbs on the way in, and be careful in crowded tourist locations too. Pickpocketing is a favourite pastime.
steel bands, white sand, warm sea, palm trees. It's the Caribbean, and it's only a 3-hour hop from Mexico City. But whereabouts are we, I hear you ask?
We're on the eastern side of the Yucatan Peninsula, about equidistant between Mexico City and Miami, Florida. That's the Caribbean, and Cuba's the nearest island. And welcome to the American version of Torremolinos.
Well, that's it. That's your lot till the next time. Goodbye.
It's not really. There's more. It's riverboat shuffle time. 1 minute, I'm 5,000 feet above sea level listening to a tone-deaf trumpeter, and the next it's sea level and a mad sax player. Followed by the Mexican national anthem, La Bamba, and then the Cancun version of Knees Up Mother Brown. So a bit of a giggle.
Me too. You know what really makes me laugh? Is the fact that, unlike yourself, sound, me presenting, the cameraman always has to leave his meal when he's taking a shot.
Tough, really, isn't it?
I don't think you'll miss this bit.
Nothing you miss this bit.
And now, a first for stepping the world.
I'm asking my girlfriend to marry me tonight.
What do you do if she says no?
Well, I really haven't thought about that. And if she does, oh boy, but I'm hoping she says yes.
Mary, he has something to tell you.
Merritt, from the first day we met, I knew you were somebody special. We went on our first date, and I knew you were the one. All I know is I'm happier than hell with you, and I don't want to live without you. Will you marry me?
Yes, I will.
If she had said no, he'd probably have run away and become a trumpet player in Mexico City. There's at least one vacancy I know of.
I really can't figure Cancun out. It's a very strange place. It's kind of a cross between a Marbella for Americans and Las Vegas. But then again, it has its moments, like tonight. The Boozer Cruiser, all good fun. But that can be really romantic as well if you're here with your woman. When you want to see the smooching going on next door, all I've got's a crew of 2 guys. Typical.
But then there is a plus side to being out with the lads. Oh boy, I sense trouble ahead. It's tequila slamming time in downtown Cancun. You'll be sorry, Lloyd. I said, you'll be sorry, Lloyd. Oh, so will you, Paul. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Two weeks later, and we've moved out of the recuperation centre, but I still wish I was one of those. We've moved down to Escares Nature Park, and I'm on dolphin watch. Don't you just love them? They have that sort of we know a lot more than you think smile, and they seem to love close contact with people.
I don't know what's a more amazing sight, the dolphins or the faces on the people when they get in the water. This is absolutely wonderful. It's not just a dolphin show. Well, it isn't a dolphin show at all, in fact. It's a place where you can come and experience the mammals, really be close up to them, swim with them, and learn all about them.
I'm going to show you their ears. Okay, Melissa, show me your ears. It's right here. This is the ear of the dolphin. Wow. Okay, they can hear very well also. But the thing they use the most is the sonar. They use it to fish, catch fish, to communicate between them and to locate things in the water. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, Melissa. She's gonna jump for us.
And talking about handsome, sleek, well-proportioned animals,
Down into the depths.
now, does pink suit me or what? I'm about to travel 1,500 feet down an underground river. It's fresh, clear water, and the instructions were, just go with the flow. You'll come out the other end, no problem. Mind you, floating down an underground river in the dark, on your back, dressed in an Italian pink life jacket, is a bit spooky. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but then there is light, as they say, at the end of the tunnel. Look at that style. Sheer poetry in motion.
That has to be the best cure for a hangover I've ever had. It's fantastic. What's great is that you don't have to be a strong swimmer either. The current just takes you straight the way through. Well, that's it. Until the next time, that's your lot. Goodbye. Never, never, never again.
Why do you always have to show off? I'm not showing off. Your camera's always much bigger than mine.
Come on, Sawyer.
You're supposed to have your shoes off. Right, you already know it's the dance, you know?
Yeah, now, we're gonna go to the front. Okay, ready? Yeah. And back again. It's good, isn't it? Spain.